This is a 60% hydration pizza dough and it's simple to handle. It's beginner friendly and still gives you those beautiful artisan-style pizzas with soft, airy crusts and great leopard spotting in high heat pizza ovens. And the thing I really love about this dough is how flexible it is. You can knead it by hand. You can use a bread maker or a stand mixer. I use a bread maker for my pizza dough. You can make it quickly if you're busy, and you can give it long proofing times if you want a deeper flavor. The dough has become one of my most dependable recipes because it comes out consistently every time for me. So first of all, here is the exact recipe that I use. You will need 500 grams of pizza flour. I use this brand, 300 grams of water, 10 grams of salt, 1 to 2 grams of yeast depending on your climate, and that gives us a 60% hydration dough. Hydration just means the percentage of water compared to flour. So 300 grams of water divided by 500 grams of flour gives you 60% hydration. And personally, I think 60% hydration is one of the best places to start for homemade artisan pizza cooks. Because once you start going much higher in hydration, the dough becomes stickier and harder to manage, especially for beginners. And whether you're cooking in a wood-fired electric or any high heat pizza oven, this dough handles heat extremely well. I always recommend using proper pizza flour if possible. A strong pizza flour helps create better gluten structure, better elasticity, especially when cooking Neapolitan style pizzas at very high temperatures. Now let's talk about the yeast. I use between 1 to 2 grams of yeast, depending on the climate and the proofing time. If it's warm weather, I normally stay closer to 1 gram because dough ferments much faster in heat. If it's colder, I may use closer to 2 grams. Why I split the water? Now this next part is something I personally always do. I dissolve the salt in half of the recipe's water, and then I dissolve the yeast in the other half of the water. So for this recipe, I use 150 grams of water that gets mixed with the salt, and the other 150 grams gets mixed with the yeast. Now there are different opinions on this in pizza making world, but personally I like keeping the yeast and salt separate at the beginning because salt can slow yeast activity if they're dumped directly together in concentrated amounts. So mix everything together immediately. Pizza making is full of different methods. You'll find people will do everything differently. Some autolyze or cold ferment for days or use sourdough. And if your dough consistently gives you great pizza, that's what matters. Once the water is weighed, I add the flour and begin kneading. So this is the method I use when I knead my dough. I use a bread maker. And for busy people, I think bread makers are massively underrated for pizza dough. They remove a lot of the effort and mess. I simply add the ingredients, let the bread maker knead the dough. I even use the proofing option in the bread maker as well, which lasts 45 minutes, and it's magic. I actually don't give my dough huge proofing most of the time. I know long fermentation is extremely popular, and yes, it can absolutely create fantastic flavor, but sometimes you just want to make pizza without planning 2 days ahead or a week ahead or even a day ahead. And now that seems to be me most of the time. And this dough still works beautifully with shorter proofing times. That's one of the reasons I use it so often. When the dough finishes kneading, what you're looking for is a smoother texture, elasticity, slight tackiness but not overly sticky, a dough ball that holds together nicely. And if your dough feels too wet, avoid dumping loads of flour onto it immediately. That can dry the dough out. Instead, give the dough a few minutes to rest. As gluten develops, dough often becomes smoother and easier to handle naturally. Now, if you're kneading by hand, the same principles apply. If you're using a stand mixer, maybe around 8 minutes. Again, exact times can vary. What matters more is the feel of the dough. And once you've made pizza dough a few times, you start recognizing that feel very quickly. The same day option is the method I personally use a lot. I let the bread maker do the proofing cycle. Then I remove the dough, divide it into dough balls and give them additional time to relax before stretching, but not much. This can still produce excellent artisan pizza, especially in high heat ovens, and it's the pizza method I use for most of my pizza videos. And for busy people, this method is fantastic because it's realistic. You don't need huge planning, and you can decide during the day that you want pizza and still make great dough. Another option is a medium proof option. Make the dough earlier in the day. Let it bulk ferment for several hours. Ball it up later and then give the dough balls time to proof. This creates a bit more flavour while still being manageable for normal life. Long cold ferment option. Ferment? Now, if you have more time, this dough also works brilliantly for cold fermentation. Now, will a 48-hour cold ferment give more flavour complexity? You can, for example, make the dough, ball it up, put it in the fridge and leave it for 24 to 72 hours. During cold fermentation, the dough slowly develops deeper flavour and often improved texture. Don't leave the dough uncovered though. It will dry up. So always use covered containers. Then before cooking, let the dough come back to room temperature. Cold dough is really hard to stretch and can snap back more. And longer isn't always better. At some point, dough can over-ferment, so don't leave it too long in the fridge. And you may notice that it develops a weak structure if you have excessive stickiness and flattened dough balls. So learning your own timing is really important. Now, another huge tip: if your dough is difficult to stretch, often it simply needs more resting. A rested dough becomes much more relaxed and workable. A tight dough usually fights back because gluten is still too tense. So don't always assume the dough is bad, and don't throw it away if you think it is. Use it again. What I like doing is pressing out the dough towards the edge and leaving the edge untouched. That hopefully will give you some light airy bubbles in your crust. I managed to do this using a mini pizza roller. I use it quite a lot, and I've used it a lot over the years because I find it very difficult to stretch my pizza dough, even in warm weather. However, in warmer weather, I do tend to use my mini pizza roller a lot less because my dough is much easier to stretch in the summer. And because this is a 60% hydration dough, it's usually much easier for beginners to control compared to a very high hydration dough. Now, one important tip: try not to crush all of the air out of your dough, even if you're doing it by hand or a mini pizza roller. That trapped gas helps create bubbles. And when cooking Neapolitan style pizza in high heat ovens, that puffed up crust is part of what makes the pizza look and taste so good. Now, in terms of cooking, this dough works brilliantly across wood-fired ovens, gas-fired ovens, electric pizza ovens. Now let's talk about freezing dough, because this pizza dough recipe also freezes very well. And this is another massive advantage for those of you who are very busy people. You can make multiple dough balls and freeze extras for later. What I normally recommend is freezing the dough after it has been divided into dough balls. Wrap them properly so they don't dry out, then freeze them. And when you want to use them, move them into the fridge first to thaw gradually. Then allow them to come back to room temperature. When they're at room temperature, you can start to stretch. Having frozen dough ready to go is exceedingly convenient, especially on busy days. So that is my 60% hydration pizza dough recipe for high heat dough ovens. And the reason I love this dough so much is because it's flexible, simple and consistent to use. The best thing about this recipe is there is no sugar or oil in it because you don't need it for high heat pizza ovens to make Neapolitan or artisan style pizza. If I know a dough recipe is going to work again and again, that's the kind of recipe I keep coming back to. So if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments below how you make your pizza dough and what type of pizza oven you're using. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more pizza content, pizza oven reviews, beginner tips and homemade artisan pizza videos. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!